Hello YouTube, Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting and a Fan, and yes, I have my lighting, and yes, I have my fan. And up until a few seconds ago, I had Sekhmet on my shoulder, on the top of my chair. Some pirates have parrots. This psychic reader has a cat. Anyway, so I want to welcome you to the official video for the June 2026 entry of Llewellyn's 2026 Tarot Calendar. We have the Queen of Wands from the Good Fortune Tarot. We have the Tree of Life symbol. We have an article called Confidence for Cartomancers. Cartomancers is one of my favorite words and terms. And also we have the symbol of the black cat. So, let me show you the Queen of Wands from the Good Fortune Tarot. I love her. She is one of my favorite queens. The Bianca Del Rio and RuPaul are two other of my favorite queens. We are approaching Pride Month, so my mind is focusing on Pride-related things. Then again, my mind is always focused on LGBTQ+ related things, but I digress. So, exuding passion and vitality, the Queen of Wands uplifts the spirits of everyone she meets. The Mistress of Fire, she has unquenchable energy and an enticing charisma. And so can you when you follow her lead. And let's face it, this particular queen is not shy or demure. She's very direct, she's very upfront, and she's bossy. So you know what that means. Do what she says, or else. I am a typical rising sign Leo, you know, so you know what that means, everybody. Do what I say, or else. I had a phenomenal session with my therapist about this last year. Let me take a sip of my London fog. I added some extra sugar and some extra half and half, so it's really good. Anyway, so, the Tree of Life. One of the two trees from the Garden of Eden, it burns brightly but is not consumed. If we let the light of our spirit shine forth, we will be a glowing torch, a beacon for others lost in darkness. And of course, as somebody who has two black cats, I have to talk about the black cat depicted on this card. House cats are a master class in sass. You know I could just stop right there, right? They do what they want, when they want, and they aren't looking for too much approval. Actually, they're not looking for anybody's approval. They're not. They symbolize our capacity to follow our instincts to achieve our satisfaction. I want to tell you something. You know, there is an account that I happily follow on Instagram. It's called Miles the Therapy Cat. I want to tell you, it touches my heart in more ways than I can even tell you. It just does. I will include the link in the description box for this video. Anyway, Confidence for Cartomancers. Now, I of course have a vested interest in this article, but I may add something after I read it. So, there are many qualities a good reader should cultivate, such as wisdom, compassion, and curiosity. But one trait we don't talk about enough, one trait we don't talk enough about is confidence. A healthy dose of humility will keep your ego in check, and that's good. But at some point, we must take courage, trust in our skills and knowledge, and clearly deliver the message of the reading. Begin with your posture. Sit up straight, shoulders back. This is a power pose that will help you find your strength. By the way, those of you who have had readings with me in person, you know that there are certain chairs that I do not like because it's almost as if the spirits want me to be more relaxed and laid back. And I've finally started listening to that, which is why they keep bringing me into situations where I'm going to be sitting in a chair where I don't have that option. But for the most part, I do prefer to sit in chairs like these. That's one of the reasons why it would never occur to me to sit in another chair, because I do have other chairs in my home, but I would never think of sitting in a chair other than this one when I'm doing a YouTube video, especially if I'm casting the cards or if I'm conducting an online or virtual reading for a client from my home. So again, begin with your posture. Sit up straight, shoulders back. This is a power pose that will help you find your strength. If reading for another, look your client in the eyes and give them your undivided attention. As you speak, be careful of hedge words such as maybe, possibly, and could. If you feel doubts creeping in, remind yourself that you are an oracle, a sacred conduit of divine wisdom. Practicing these techniques will help you enter a flow state where you can move from card to card, interpreting with ease. Now, I'm also going to add a few other things, because I, for one, tend not to make direct eye contact with my clients. Well, come on up, segment. Exactly. You wanted to come up here, and you always can, even if it annoys me. But there's no card, so it's okay. You relax. She didn't do what she wants, whether it's relax or not, but I digress. So, and the reason why I don't make eye contact with my clients that often is because I do not want to be distracted, number one. And number two, when I first began reading articles such as what to watch out for, like written with clients in mind as to what kinds of readers to avoid, they would always talk about, the articles would always mention readers that would look to the client for visual cues. So I don't want to look at you because I don't want you to think I'm getting visual clues from your face or your eyes. Besides, most of the time I'm looking up or I'm looking within. So I'm not even really noticing what your facial expressions are. And even more so with a virtual or an online reading. Like I do have clients that prefer phone readings and some that prefer video readings. And it's no skin off my nose. Personally, I prefer phone readings because they're more convenient for me. They're easier to set up for me. You know. But I will say that when it's actually a video reading, I'm not looking at the client that much because I'm more focused on the cards that are in front of me, or the other divination system like Elder Futhark runes, for example. But I really do prefer that, and it's something that the spirits have told me to do. So I'm being obedient to the divine guidance and the intuitive guidance that I'm receiving, and that's where I need to be. The other thing that I'm going to say is that sometimes you, as somebody reading the cards, you don't want to be focused on the client. You want to be focused on what you're doing. And especially for those of you who have neither the desire nor the intention to do this professionally, because you do exist and you do matter, by the way. I have known for years that not everybody who learns a divination system, such as tarot, will want to do it professionally. It's like if you get a driver's license, you have to buy a car. Nothing could be further from the truth. You know, there's always been that just because somebody does X doesn't mean that they must do Y. It's an option. It makes certain things easier, but it's not like, well, you must do this or else. You know, isn't that right, Sam? So I do say to all of you in YouTube land that when you're conducting a reading, look at what feels natural for you. Think about, and especially if you want to do readings professionally, think about the people that you admire the most who do readings professionally. What are the qualities that they have? What are the qualities that they radiate and emulate? When I first began doing readings professionally, a lot of the characteristics that I emulated from Roger Pratt, because he was my first and my constant experience with a professional reader. And then after a while, I began developing my own personality. I began allowing my own personality to shine through, and my own character and persona, which is where I am now. And every once in a while, and especially since 2019, I shock the shit out of people. I'm not as predictable as I used to be. Some could say that it's because I'm no longer 30, or because now that I'm 56, yes. I had to think for a moment because I keep wanting to say 58 for some reason. But yeah, now that I'm 56, it's sort of like, oh, we're going to have fun today. You know when I say, though, that the spirits have plans for you. Anyway, I could say more, but my intention is to keep this video as short and as sweet as possible. So as always, thank you to Llewellyn Publications for publishing yet another edition of the Llewellyn's Tarot Calendar, #1. Thank you to Charles Harrington for taking over the writing of the insight, spreads, and tips for these Llewellyn Tarot Calendars, taking over from the Barbara Moore. And of course, thank you to all of you in YouTube land for all the likes, comments, shares, and subscriptions to my YouTube channel. And an extra big and beautiful and bountiful thank you to those of you who have already scheduled your sessions. Sekhmet and I, as well as my other 3 cats, Apollo, Durga, and Bast, wish you a beautiful night and a wonderful week and weekend. And as always, stay in tune with your intuition, stay safe, stay well, stay hydrated, and stay tuned for the next video.